let's just take a look at a couple of our bell work problems. Let's go through those pretty quick so we have plenty of time for our lesson today. So the first one is to find the x and the y intercept. So to do that, we just basically set each half of the equation equal to the number on the right and solve for the variable. So we divide by 7 on this first one, and we end up with -3 for our x-intercept. 21, -21 divided by 7 is -3. So that's where my my x-intercept is going to go. Then for my y-intercept, 3y equals -21. And in that case, I'm going to divide by 3. And 21 divided by -21 divided by 3 would be -7. So my y-intercept is going to be -7, which would be kind of down here, almost off the map. And then I just sketch a line through those points with an arrow on each end, and it'd be done. All right, the next question, find the slope. So we're going to do last minus the last. So -7 subtract 2, and first minus the first. 4 minus 4, well, that results in a 0 on the bottom. So whenever you have 0 on the bottom of your slope, doesn't matter what's on top, you're going to have undefined slope. So this is going to be undefined slope. The next one, we're going to write an equation given the slope and the y-intercept, and we're going to write it in slope-intercept form. So that means we're just going to write y equals then the slope, which is 2/3, followed by x, and then plus 5 because we have a positive y-intercept of 5. So that's the equation. Now to write this next one, we just happen to notice we're writing the equation of the line. So first of all, we know that we have a y-intercept at 3. So let's write that down. B equals 3 on this line. And the slope is up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. So the slope is up 1 and over 4, so 1/4. So our equation then would just be y equals 1/4 x plus 3. And that would be the equation of that line. So there's some practice problems for you. All right, so today we're going to talk about special slopes. And that means when we have lines that are like parallel or perpendicular. How do we treat that? So parallel lines are lines that never intersect. So they just run side by side but never intersect each other. So it turns out that the slope of a line that is parallel is the same as the line that you're comparing it to. So parallel lines have the same slope. So find the slope of a line parallel to the given line. So if that's the slope, then any other line that would be parallel to that would have a slope of -1/3. This one would, if a line was parallel to it, it would have a slope of 3/7. This one has no slope or 0 slope, so that's a flat line. So the slope of this line would be 0, and so anything parallel to that would also be 0. So the slope of that would be 0. Okay. Perpendicular lines. So if a line is perpendicular, then the slope is actually the negative inverse of the other slope. So if you take this 2/3, we're going to put a negative sign in front of it, and we're going to flip the fraction upside down and make it 3/2. This one, a -4/1, when we flip it upside down, is going to be +4/1. So just the negative inverse. 4/5, flip it upside down, would become -5/4. And that's all there is to writing a slope that is perpendicular to another slope or another line. Okay, a horizontal line and a vertical line are always perpendicular. So find the slope of the line perpendicular to the given line. So for this particular line, the something perpendicular to that 2/3 would be -3 over 2. For this one, it would be -5. No, it would be +5 over 4. For this one, the original slope is 7 over 1, so something perpendicular to that would be -1/7 slope. And this one, the slope is -3, so the negative reciprocal of that would be +1/3. So +1/3 slope. All right. This is looking pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, find the slope of each line and determine if they are parallel or perpendicular or neither. So we're going to use the slope formula, find the two slopes, and then compare them. So last minus last, so -3 minus 1 over first minus first, which is 5 minus 6. So we would end up with -4 over -1, which when you divide them out, ends up being 4. Right? Okay, so let's look at the other one. Last minus last, -3 minus 11. That would be -14. And then you've got 7 minus 5. So 7 minus 5 is 2. -14 divided by 2 would be -7. So these are not parallel nor perpendicular, so this would be neither. So there's one kind of a problem that you could encounter. Okay, so we're just going to practice finding a few of those parallel and perpendicular slopes. So here you go. Thank you very much.